Elton Hobson with CanadianProfighter.com, being joined by the new Ringside Welterweight Champion, Chris the Menace Clements. Chris, thanks for taking the time. Chris, right off the bat, you are the man who retired Jonathan Goulet, one of the most respected and well-known veterans of Canadian mixed martial arts. What are your thoughts?
I don't like the thought of being the guy who retired him. I'm a Jonathan Goulet fan. I'm the guy he fought last before his retirement, but I don't want to take credit for retiring someone I'm a fan of. So.
Right. Give me your thoughts on that fight. I know for a lot of people who haven't seen it, what was your game plan coming into the fight, and how well do you think you followed through on that?
My game plan went according to plan, but it was a quick change. I planned on sticking and moving a lot, and 2 weeks before the fight, I sprained my ankle really bad. So I had to change my game plan to basically slow him down, and then kind of choose my spot then. I knew if I could slow him down, like I knew my striking skills, I'd be able to stick him, catch something, like set something up. So pretty much exactly as I planned it happened. So.
When you say slow him down, what do you mean? Is that like leg kicks, body shots kind of thing?
No, Goulet's a really aggressive guy. He likes to come in wild sometimes and just go for takedowns and maul guys. So I figured if I could just weather the storm, eventually he'd slow down and relax. And then my plan was to kind of slow him down, throw lazy punches, and then catch him with a fast one. And that's exactly what happened.
Well, yeah, as you said, that's what happened. Second round knockout. There was some talk from Goulet that it was a hit behind the head. Was that, speaking to you beforehand, we didn't seem that was a problem. Do you think that was something that influenced the fight, or do you think he was already on his way out?
I hit him with the first shot clean. I think his head kind of went back. And then after the second punch, as he was coming, I don't know if he was falling forward or if he was shooting in. And then I came back. I did hit him in the back of the head. But it wasn't like it was an illegal blow that I had down on his back and hit him in the back of the head. But the second shot in the instant replay, I haven't seen the fight since, but in the instant replay, it looked like it was across the back of the head.
What was it like to defeat a guy like Goulet in Montreal? Was that was the crowd against you after that one, or were they respectful?
They were silent. There wasn't any disrespect with cheer, like booing, but it was just more silence. But for the 30 to 40 people that I had come with me, they made enough noise for.
Right on. Who was in your corner for that fight?
I had Rowan Cunningham. He's my main coach right now, just mainly working on my jiu-jitsu. Leo Lautz, 1988 kickboxing champion. He's been really helping me out with my hands and my speed and keeping me relaxed. And then I had Adam Hickson from Phoenix Kickboxing up in Hamilton.
Cool. For those who aren't familiar with you, give me a little background on yourself as a fighter. How'd you get into martial arts, and how'd you get into MMA specifically?
I started out in Taekwondo when I was 16 years old. And I did a lot of street fighting in college, not purposely, just happened that way.
Right.
And kind of after I got my black belt in Taekwondo, there was really nowhere to go. So I just kind of fiddled around with some boxing and stuff. And then a friend of mine, John Fraser, who's actually the W1 champion now, he started a little gym up in Sarnia. I seen him in the newspaper, and I just went and joined. Probably about 3 weeks later, I was doing the instructors there. We didn't really know what we were doing.
Right.
And we just kind of learned off the internet and kind of just fought each other.
Right.
And now we both got the 2 titles in the biggest 2 shows in Quebec. So,
cool. How'd you move from fighting there to fighting out of Adrenaline, obviously alongside part of the Tompkins umbrella, alongside Stout and Hominick?
I think about 6 years ago, I broke my ankle training with Fraser, and I lost my job because I couldn't go to work.
Bad combo.
Yeah. So I ended up getting a job up in St. Thomas, which is about a half hour from here. And I contacted Sean and went in and started doing some private lessons with him, and then I ended up joining the team and been here ever since. So it's kind of bad fortune that turned into some good fortune. So.
Cool. I know from your background in fighting, you're mostly a stand-up fighter. You mentioned Taekwondo is your base style. How do you feel you've evolved as a mixed martial artist, and how do you feel your other areas like wrestling, grappling, how do you feel they stack up to your striking game?
I spend probably twice as much time wrestling and grappling as I do striking. I just prefer to punch people in the face when I fight.
Right.
I do think I have a solid ground game. I'm not really offensive with it. I use it more defensive just to get back to my feet because I prefer to hit people.
Right.
But as far as coming along as a mixed martial artist, I think because I'm a coach at the same time, I train a lot of people, that I always have to be thinking and finding most practical ways to do things, right? My mind's always thinking, having to do with fighting, so it kind of keeps me going that way.
Right. I guess a lot of the talk coming off of this fight in particular with Goulet, with the UFC running cards now in Montreal, Vancouver, rumored Toronto card in 2011, there's talk that there might be a call up for the winner of this fight to maybe fill a slot on the UFC card. What are your thoughts on that, and would that be something that would interest you if it came along?
Oh, of course it interests me. I think any guy who steps in that cage, whether it's amateur or pro's goal is to fight in the UFC, or his hopes and his dreams are to. So I'm hoping the UFC seen it. I hope they take notice, and if they come a call, and I'll be answering as fast as possible.
Cool. I guess that's kind of the farther future. In the near term, as you see here, your Ringside title. Who do you see on the horizon as being your next fight, either in the Ringside organization or just in general?
I'm not exactly sure where I'm fighting at next. I am on a 2-fight contract with W1. Mm-hmm. They gave me permission to fight Goulet. So it's kind of going to be up to them whether I go back to fight with them first and outlive my contract and then go back to W1. Then go back to Ringside. As far as Ringside's concerned, I got Alex Garcia. They want me to fight Alex Garcia coming up March 25th at the Bell Center. So I'm kind of working it out right now and seeing which way I'm going to go on that one.
Is it possible that W1 would allow you to defend or contest the Ringside belt in their organization, or would it have to be kept separate? There'd be no co-promotion?
I highly doubt it'd be a co-promotion, but I have not had no talk with them, so I don't really have an answer for that one.
Right. I guess finally, who are your heroes in the sport and in life? Who do you look up to in martial arts?
Not my first, well, not really my first, but my biggest one was my training partner, Mark Hominick. When we first started training together, he's one of the hardest working guys I've ever seen in his discipline, and that's kind of who I always looked up to. And it's really easy because I see him every day. So.
Right. And I guess lastly, for anyone who's wondering out there, where did you get the nickname the Menace? Is that something that just because it sounded good with Clements, or is there a story behind that?
No, when I first joined Team Tompkins, I used to my nickname is Menace, short form for Clements, and I always wrote Menace on all my training gear.
Right.
And Tompkins, what's that say, Menace? And he just kind of read it real quick. And then a couple weeks later, I had a kickboxing fight, and on the application it asked for nickname, and he just wrote Menace, and it's been there ever since. There
you go, folks. The origin of the nickname. Thank you very much for taking the time.
No problem.
This is the Ringside Welterweight Champion Chris the Menace Clements. Elton Hobson for CanadianProfighter.com. See you next time.